Hello ladies and gentlemen, what's up, Porkchop here, and today we're doing another in-depth hero guide. Today we are taking a look at one of the most evilest souls to ever lay their imaginary feet onto Agora. That hero's name is Sevarog. Sevarog is a melee corruption and growth tanky initiator that has a lot of CC potential and a very unique kit which not only affects his abilities but also his hero appearance too. Let me know what you think of Sevarog down in the comments below. And I do apologise for having to use a replay system for footage if that bothers you because of my recording software messed up a few days ago. But let me know if you don't mind this sort of angle and I may try it out if the case. But let's jump right into those abilities. First up is Saipan. The reason we have started with this ability is well because it works with all his kit. The basic of it is where it deals ability damage within a small target area in front of you, just a bit longer than his melee range for Sevarog. The damage isn't great, but when you add his passive on top, that's a different story. The passive is that with any of Sevarog's abilities, if he last hits a minion or enemy hero, he will gain a soul stack. 1 for a minion and 3 for last hitting an enemy hero. Each soul stack gives Sevarog plus 3 health and plus 1 ability damage to his Saipan attack. But that's not all, when he reaches a certain amount of stacks he will gain additional ability damage and health. There are 4 amounts of stacks he needs to hit, the last being 140. So this makes farming a lot more important for Sevarog. You have to worry about more than most junglers or offlaners. You have to keep stacking those stacks very quickly. Being in the offlane you can't do that as well, and I'm personally not a fan of Sevarog in the offlane. I pretty much always play him in the jungle due to his gank potential, and it makes him gain more stacks which over time gives him a lot more damage and health potential. Cooldown and mana cost is very low, and the main reason you want to use this ability to gain your stacks anyway. His next ability is Subjugate. This is Sevarog's root ability. You can aim and if done right hits a target. This will always root them for 1 second and depending on the upgrade level will apply a slow for 3 seconds. This makes or breaks a Sevarog player. You can't gank on this shape without it, so if you keep missing them, you're in trouble. Damage is rather decent but the mana cost is very high, so make them count. The range you can root people is rather long, longer than a ranged attack, so I'm guessing like 1500 units. Again, hard to tell with these abilities when they actually don't tell you the unit range. I wouldn't use this ability to gain stacks by farming because it costs way too much. You just use it to gank and initiate in those fights which can combo well with his ultimate. And his final ability is Phantom Rush. It's pretty simple, Sevarog rushes 1000 units forward costing little mana and can go through minions and heroes. Helps to close gaps or run away, nothing else to it really. But his ultimate is where the fun begins, Colossal Blow. Sevarog gets very angry and wants to start playing some baseball so he can give one mighty swing knocking enemies into the direction it's facing and dealing quite a lot of ability damage, but the mostly the knockback is what it's used for. It can hit multiple targets at once, but minions don't get pushed back, but they still get hit by the damage. The weird thing is that the cooldown is only 30 seconds long, but you can't just keep spamming it as it costs 100 mana. Reason why is, well, even though it's good, you still need a lot to combo correctly with your kit, and compared to most ultimates, Colossal Blow isn't that special. So after all of that, let's get into how to play him. Early game use your Saipan attack to get those stacks, making sure you get the minions weak enough to get the final blow. You can see your stacks next to your Saipan ability. It is an art form that will take time to master before it becomes second nature for a Sevarog player. When ganking, unless it's not needed, use your root to lock the enemy down for you to get close to them and start dealing that damage. You can combo your abilities very well. More late game when you can root an enemy, Phantom Rush up to them, then ult them all the way back into your team is a pretty good way to start a fight in your favour. Of course it's better if you don't have to use your root and you can simply rush up to them and ult, but even when they land you can root straight away if you think it's needed and not overkill. Of course if you do this your team has to be there to do the damage to kill them, you simply can't do that by yourself. He's always also great for pushing enemies into the tower or defending your tower. It really has a lot of potential, as you can see on this greystone where I root him back and throw him right back into our tower to get the kill. For upgrades you always want to upgrade your Saipan when you can, then your Subjugate. You want to unlock all 3 abilities straight away, just I don't bother upgrading Phantom Rush as it really does nothing for the ability and the other 2 abilities scale really well. There are 2 ways you can build Sevarog. One is more focusing on your ability damage / penetration and a little bit of attack speed. This is fine on some occasions, but if you are Sevarog, you're pretty much always going to have to be that frontliner, and that means you're going to have to take a lot of damage. I prefer early game still doing more damage to help farm and secure kills, but once the mid to late game happens I go straight into being more of a tanky hero. You have to be that frontliner. Go right in, take the damage and put your enemy out of their position for your team to get the kills. You can see me here when we push this inhibitor. I made the first big move, ulting the Grux into our team, and the rest of their team uses a lot just to keep me under the tower and kill me. I may have died, but it was good enough distraction for my team to finish up the Grux and finish up the rest of the team, and for us to go on and push her on and win that game. There isn't too many Pacific cards I would put on Sevarog personally, but this is the one I would definitely recommend, and that is Thermobond. Being the frontliner up against a lot of CC, this card is perfect for you. If you don't know what it does, it basically once you get hit by any crowd control abilities like stuns, roots, you gain a percentage of your health over time, which stacks. Against this pre-made team, you can see how much longer I'm able to live on, and what this means is that my team has the best possible chance to win this fight if they're using all their abilities just to try and kill me. Now we're going to go into a new section into these guides where I talk over some of the gameplay I recorded just to make you understand my thought process with each hero. Do let me know if you like this sort of thing in these guides, or even if it was its own video, but let's see that gameplay anyway. First up is around the halfway through a game and Raptors are available with both teams surrounding it. Their Narbus is trying to block my team while destroying our wards. What I do here is stay out of his vision, waiting for him to overextend one more time to grab him. He just does that and I root him, then ult him into my team, which gets the kill. The perfect showcase of what Sevarog players should be doing. Then we push on for Raptors without much problems. Now it's a 5-on-4 scenario for the enemy team. I help damage and make sure the Raptors are hitting me instead of my weak carries. I am also looking around to see if there are any threats nearby. Once we have taken them, the enemy team try to decide to re-engage again to kill the Harry, which is rather low. However, the Harry ults and then I root this gadget right into the ult so it can do even more damage and it kills her very quickly. This also benefits our team as the gadget just ulted, and if I didn't root her in place, she would have escaped from Harry's ult and probably killed this Harry and maybe even done more damage. So overall here, we grabbed 2 Raptors and 2 kills with my help, which was a massive impact on the overall game. The other clip I wanted to show is a fight happening, and I should be right in there, but I was waiting for the right opportunity. I slide in without anyone noticing and quickly this Grux and Twin Blast into my team, which then they clean them up. If I didn't do this, those two would have been in position to retreat or re-engage on their own terms. I made a very awkward situation for both of them where they had to try and run the hell away from us, and with Dekker's help we were just able to clear them up before any problems occurred. After this point, which I cut off, we did take Orb and then push on to win the game. This just shows you Sevarog can combo with himself and play such an important part in team fights. That is a huge game changer. And I think that mostly covers the way you are meant to play Sev and how supposedly you should build him. Sevarog is in a really good spot and is a very unique hero, and I can't really think is my favourite jungler. Just so you know, he should be at the front and always with your team and have to initiate with the root and combo with your abilities from there on out. It will take time. Once you get used to it, your teammates will be very thankful. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching. Plenty more Paragon videos on this channel to check out, and I'll see you next time.